about the worst thing you can call someone is a white supremacist. And that's good. There should always be a healthy stigma against actual racists. But on college campuses, what classifies as white supremacy is being expanded to ludicrous lengths. Activists are now applying the term pretty much to anything they want to make seem controversial. Like felt. Yes, the material felt. A couple of years ago, a University of Toronto researcher suggested that felt was actually a tool of white supremacy. In her study, How to Write as Felt, Touching Transmaterialities and More Than Human Intimacies, the professor suggested that felt, a dense material of permanently interlocking fibers, can be linked to racism and capitalism. Here's an actual quote. This paper addresses the problem of education that is predicated on cis heteronormative white supremacist settler colonial logics that assume knowledge enters from an outside, that is predicated on progress, and that regulates and violently disavows particular bodies. I don't understand a word of it either. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Other things deemed white supremacy by academics in the past few years include the Kardashians, being on time, calling classical composers by one name, Tom Brady's popularity, wanting authentic food, statues of Roman soldiers, returning to campus during COVID, modern architecture, and one school was even pressured to change the name of a campus building after it was named after a guy named Lynch. The good news is a lot of this is nonsense is happening because actual white supremacy has receded on college campuses over the past few decades. A University of Wisconsin-Madison survey published in October found that certain forms of discrimination on campus are committed by a relatively small fraction of people. But there will always be activists that need to fight against something, so the window of what is deemed racist has to keep moving further and further into the absurd. You can't be Batman unless you have a Joker to fight, just like you can't be woke if there's no secret enemy to virtue signal about. Ironically, a lot of these academics pushing this nonsense are themselves white, so in a sense they're actually disproving the myth of white supremacy all on their own. Obviously, racism is serious. It would be helpful if more academics felt that way.